Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos issues 7 royal decrees. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, Chairman of the Public Authority for Investment Promotion and Export Development, ITRA, participates in the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. The Minister of Manpower before the Shura Council says that more than 43,000 job seekers and 3% of senior positions in private sector are Omanis. Oman Air denies an emergency landing of one of its planes in Kuwait International Airport. And private deposits in commercial banks in the Sultanate in the end of October 2016 increased to 12 billion Omani riyals. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Saeed has issued 7 royal decrees. Royal Decree number 2 of 2017 ratifies the Basic Law of Judiciary Economic Authority for the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. Article 1 ratifies the aforementioned Basic Law of Judiciary Economic Authority for the GCC countries, which was approved based on GCC Supreme Council's decision in its 16th consultative meeting held in Jeddah on 31st May 2016 in accordance with the attached text. Article 2. This decree shall be published in the official gazette and shall come into effect from date of its issue. Royal Decree number 3 of 2017 establishes the system of the public authority for stores and food reserve. Article 1 enacts the system of the public authority for stores and food reserve. Article 2. The chairman of the board of directors of authority shall issue the regulations and decisions necessary to implement the provisions of the attached system and to continue working by the previous regulations until its issuance. Article 3 cancels all that contradicts with this decree or contravenes with its provision. Article 4. This decree shall be published in the official gazette and shall come into effect from next day of its issue. Royal Decree number 4 of 2017 ratifies the cooperation agreement between the Sultanate of Oman and the United Arab Emirates in the field of civil defense. Article 1 ratifies the aforementioned agreement signed in Abu Dhabi on 6 September 2016 in accordance with the attached annex. Article 2. This decree shall be published in the official gazette and come into effect from the date of its issue. Royal Decree number 5 over 2017 approves the Sultanate joining the 1995 Cereals Trade Agreement. Article 1 approves the Sultans joining the agreement according to the attached annex. Article 2. The competent authorities shall include the joining document to the aforementioned agreement as per its provisions. Article 3. This decree shall be published in the official gazette and shall come into effect from date of its issue. Royal Decree number 6 of 2017. Article 1 ratifies the agreement between the Sultanate and the Republic of Hungary to avoid double taxation and prevention of tax evasion on income. Article 2. This decree shall be published in the official gazette and come into effect from date of its issue. Royal Decree number 7 of 2017. Article 1 ratifies the agreement between the government of the Sultanate of Oman and the Republic of Tunisia on the mutual exemption of visa for holders of diplomatic, private and service passports. Article 1. This decree shall be published in the official gazette and shall come into effect from date of its issue. Royal Decree number 8 of 2017 appoints non-resident ambassadors. Article 1 appoints Saleh bin Sulaiman bin Ahmed Al-Harthi, Sultan's ambassador to Kenya, as the Sultan's extraordinary plenipotentiary and non-resident ambassador to Uganda and Rwanda. Article 2 appoints Sheikh Hamad bin Saif bin Abdulaziz Al Rawahi, Sultan's ambassador to India, as the Sultan's extraordinary plenipotentiary and non-resident ambassador to Singapore, Afghanistan and Seychelles. Article 3 appoints Mubarak bin Salim bin Ali Al Zakwani, Sultan's ambassador to South Africa, as the Sultan's extraordinary plenipotentiary and non-resident ambassador to Zimbabwe and Angola. Article 4, this decree shall be published in the official gazette and come into effect from the date of its issue. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, on the death of His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Faisal bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said, His Excellency Dr. Salim bin Nasser Al Ismaili, Chairman of the Public Authority for Investment Promotion and Export Development, participates in the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in its 47th version, which will be held in the city of Davos, Switzerland, during the period from the 17th until the 20th of January under the theme Responsive and Responsible Leadership. The forum focuses in its current session on calling leaders to update systems in order to support international cooperation. Davos Forum considers an annual event that gathers more than 3,000 participants and 1,800 executives representing around 1,000 companies and academic and charity institutions. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al Bakri, Minister of Manpower, discussed in two public sessions before the Shura Council that a radical solution should be found for the employment of more than 43,000 job seekers and pointed out that Omani hold only 3% of top jobs in private sector. The discussions of the session revealed existing more than 155 governmental companies which has discussed trade. Sheikh Ali bin Nasser Al-Mahrouki, Secretary General of the Shura Council, said that the Minister of Manpower's statement covered four main themes, the first of which was on the employment of national manpower in the private sector during the period from 2010 to 2016. He added that the second theme discussed the labor care in terms of work, inspection, development and upgrading the labor legislation. The third theme was to discuss technical education and vocational training, including private training institutions. The fourth theme will discuss e-linkage transition process to e-government and an action plan to face the challenges on the transition. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Said, advisor to His Majesty, will preside over the inauguration ceremony of the second CISM Military World Football Championship 2017 today at Sultan Qaboos Sports Complex in the Wilaya of Bushehr in the Governorate of Muscat. Oman military football team will play at the top of the first group with the teams of Bahrain, France and Guinea. The ceremony will be attended by a number of ministers, commanders of Sultan Armed Forces, military and security agencies, a number of employees of the Ministry of Defense and SAF, the Royal Guard of Oman and Royal Oman Police, and a collection of those concerned with sports. Oman Air, the national carrier of the Sultanate, denied information about one of its planes made an emergency landing in Kuwait International Airport during its flight to Germany after receiving notification about the presence of a bomb on board, stressing that none of its aircraft faced this kind of incident. But an Airbus aircraft belonged to German Air Wings Company made an emergency landing at Kuwait International Airport after receiving a bomb threat, and the Kuwaiti authorities confirmed that they did not find any explosive on board. The Oman airplane was on a flight from Salalah Airport to German city of Colonia, which carried 300 passengers. Still to come in our news bulletin. second edition of Emergency Medicine Conference started in Nizwa Hospital. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Expanding aspects of cooperation and opening new horizons to achieve joint benefits in all fields that reflect the deep-rooted bonds and continuous contact between the Sultanate and the European Union were topics discussed by His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of the FAR, when he received in his office number of EU's ambassadors accredited to the Sultanate. The meeting came during the ambassador's visit to the governorate of the FAR. His Excellency affirmed during the meeting the importance of embassies in enhancing field of development and achieving peace, security and stability among countries. From their side, the ambassadors expressed their utmost satisfaction for the Sultan's continuous keenness in strengthening relations with their respective countries under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. Some 48,000 male and female students started today the General Education Diploma examinations at more than 340 centers in various governorates of the Sultanate. These centers were equipped with all comfort and safety means. Earlier, the Ministry of Education had issued a regulation for examinations, which was viewed by students. Special committees were formed by the Ministry for organizing the examinations process that issue daily reports on complaints by students or difficulties facing them in doing their exams. The Ministry called upon parents to create a convenient environment for students to perform their exams in the best way. The necessity of child protection introduced their rights and spread awareness about all topics related to children were discussed in a seminar on the occasion of the Sultan's celebration of Child World Day, which falls on the 15th of January every year under the theme Child Rights Between Law and Practice, My Innocent Childhood. The seminar focused on laws of legislation in the field of childhood and practical measures to protect child, in addition to the role of domestic institutions and work mechanisms in the field of protecting childhood in order to activate child rights and set recommendations and suggestions for the work program for those institutions. The seminar was held under the auspices of Her Highness Sayyida Dr. Khawla bint Al-Jalanda Al-Said. According to the monthly statistical bulletin published by the Central Bank of Oman, the private deposits at commercial banks in the Sultanate as at the end of October 2016 rose by 1.66% to 11,981.5 million Omani Rials compared to 11,786.1 million Rials in the corresponding period last year. The total value for these deposits include 11,041.6 million Omani Rials and 939.9 million in foreign currencies. As for the banking indicators for commercial banks at the end of October 2016, the bulletin said that the broad money, the clearance to the deposits in Rials were 8.7%. The combined money and the clearance to the gross deposit were 7.6%. The total percentage of loans to the deposits was 107%. The rate of foreign currency deposits to the total deposits was 12.5%. The rate of foreign assets to the total loans was 13.6%. Muscat Security Markets Index closed at the level of 5,744 points, declining by 0.32% compared to the session of trading. Profits of a number of companies enlisted in the market increased as shares of telecommunication and banking sectors attracted investors last week amid expectations of achieving good results. Last week, the market witnessed a fall in its trading, awaiting for the good financial results and oil news. The trading volume declined to 12 million Omani Riyals compared to 17 million Omani Riyals in previous week. The Muscat Securities Market General Index decreased last week by 30 points, closing at 5,762 points. In 2016, Kharif Salala's visitors spent more than 65 million Omani Riyals, with an increase of 30% compared to 2015, in which the visitors spent 50.12 million Riyals. These figures were revealed by the National Center for Statistics and Information. Spending on entertainment tourism represented 91.3%, which equals to 60 million Riyals out of the total tourism expenditure. Business tourism represented 4.9% of with the total expenses. The number of visitors rose by 26.8% as to reach 652,986 visitors compared to 514,777 during 2015 session. Under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Talib Al-Hanai, Under-Secretary of Planning Affairs at the Ministry of Health, the second edition of Emergency Medicine Conference organized by Oman Society for Emergency Medicine and hosted by Nizwa Hospital is being conducted. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rabai.
Oman Society of Emergency Services working towards advancing emergency medicine services in the Sultanate. Amid national and international participation of a large number of emergency medicine physicians, including residents from Oman, along with interns, emergency care nurses, primary health care physicians and nurses and pre-hospital staff, all of whom their goal is improving competencies of diagnosis, treatment and performing of procedures in the emergency department of healthcare institutions in the Sultanate.
Emergency medicine in the country has jumped major steps during the last 7 years because of the graduates of the Oman Medical Specialty Board. That has a big influence on the outcome of the performance of the departments they worked in. We found many hospitals in the past, the emergency department, just places where they can just provide first aid before calling other specialties. Nowadays, the emergency department in many hospitals in the country, especially the major hospitals, are specialized units, give specialized care in the emergency departments.
The conference has witnessed extensive discussions on topics such as the art of decision-making in the emergency care, hypertensive patient in the emergency care, legal rights in the emergency care, the sick child in the emergency care, and sepsis update led by experts from inside and outside Oman.
Very important conference for us as a doctor, and plus it is like the emergency physician and the anesthetist, they are working in a group together to give a best thing for the patient.
In addition to the update in the scientific program in the emergency medicine, also we did many workshops or pre-conference workshops that include 7 workshops. And in addition to that, there is exhibition, emergency day exhibition to the public.
This conference on emergency medicine is one of the very important medicine branches in the healthcare services that treat urgent and unstable cases arriving in the emergency unit. It is hoped that this conference met the large part of the needs of healthcare staff who encounters various emergency conditions in their daily medical practice. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate, clear skies will prevail over most of the governorate with chances of low clouds and fog early morning and late at night over the governorate of Brahmi and Dhahira. Wind will be northwesterly to westerly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos issues 7 royal decrees. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, Chairman of the Public Authority for Investment Promotion and Export Development, ITRA participates in the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. The Minister of Manpower before the Shura Council states that more than 43,000 job seekers and 3% of senior positions in private sector are Omanis. Oman Air denies an emergency landing of one of its planes in Kuwait International Airport. And private deposits in commercial banks in the Sultanate in the end of October 2016 increased to 12 billion Omani riyals. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.